Guys, and welcome to another Color Me Happy video. Today we are going to color this Miss Anya lounge stamp, but we're going to do 3D decoupage of her. So we're going to do this in part. I have cut this out with my Big Shot, and I'm going to use this as the base image. So we're going to start coloring the base image, and the things we want to show on the base image is her neck, her arms, her knees, and the big hair in the background. So we're going to start coloring the neck, arms, and knees. I'm going to do this with the ordinary skin tones that I always use, which is E00, E000, and E11. So for the lightest color it's E000. Then I go in with the E11 for the shadows. And as they are so small parts that I'm coloring, I can color them all consecutively, while if I would have done the face on this picture, I would have done just the face because it's so big and you don't want the color to dry between your blending. That's the skin. Now we're going to do the hair. She has very, very curly hair, and we are going to do that with the E31, E35 and E39. So we're going to start with the darkest color, and we're going to shadow her right in the back of the hair. And trying to put those shadows on in the direction of the hair, doing small swirls to keep that kind of curly hair going. We're starting out with the first layer, not doing very much, then just going on with the next two dark color. And the lightest is the E31. Then I'm going back in with the darkest color, adding more details and more shadows. and that is the hair and the skin done. But we're not done with her. First of all, we are going to do an outline to make her more stand out of the page. And what we do is we carefully just use the C2 and just line the whole picture. That's the first line. Then we're going to blend that carefully out with the C0. Just little small wings out. And then we're going to finish this off by just blending that out with the blender pen to make those edges even a little bit more foggier. The blender pen is just pure alcohol, so what it does is pushing some of that color down into the paper, so just making it a little bit foggier, like that. And for last part for this is that all the parts we haven't colored are going to be colored in C7. This is to make a shadow on the inside, so when we do our 3D decoupage, the little parts of this that will be shown is much darker and not white, which helps to keep up the illusion of dimension. And there's your first part done. Now we're gonna go on to the second layer. Now on the second layer, we are not going to use the hair or the arms or the knees or the neck, so we don't going to color them at all. To start with our face, we're starting with the E00. Doing the shadows with the E11. Blending those shadows out with the E00. Giving her some shakes with the R20. And then blending all of those out with the E000. Like that. The second part we are going to paint on this picture is our headband, and I want it to be green. So I'm using the G00, the G02 and the G05. All the colors will be listed in the video and on my blog. Start with the lightest color as usual and just cover the headband. Then I'm going in with the G05, sorry. Blending that out with the 02. And then go back to the 00. That's the hairband. Now we are going to do the sleeves and the shorts. They're also going to be green. And then blending it out. And then we are going to do her socks also, and that's the last part on this picture. I'm going to start by doing the socks themselves. And we're doing that with the C0 and C2 and help blending that out with the blender pen. So we're going to start with the shadows. And this is just trying to make the socks look a little bit rounder. And then side, blending that out with the blender pen. Like that. And we have one thing, and that's the little stripe, and we're going to make that purple as I'm going to have some other purple bits on this picture. Taking the BV4, then blending that carefully out a bit with the BV02 and ending up with the BV00 and blending those two together. That. And again we are going over with our C7 on those parts that are going to be left in the picture, like her bangs, because that's going to be on the next layer up. So those are going to be black. Her shirt here. And her shoes. And that's the layer 2 part. Now we're going to do the layer 3. On this picture we are going to do the bangs, the shirt and the shoes. So we're going to start with the bangs, and we're going back in with the E30 series, 31, 35 and 39. We're going to start with the dark color. Like that, and then her bangs are done. We are also going to do the shirt here with the first the white parts, which is the C series. The reason why we start with the white part is because it's better, as I said before, it's better to color the light parts first and the dark part later, because if you have to color next to a dark color it can be easily transferred into the... And on top of that, if you happen to miss a little bit and happen to paint over a dark part with a light pen, you can always cover that up, while if you paint over with a dark pen on a light area, that isn't as easy. And then we're going to do the final blending with the blending pen here. Then we are going over back to the purples. I'm going to start by coloring the stripes. taking the darkest color and just adding the corner lines to give it a little more dimension and carefully blending that out with the next darkest color. And finishing off with the lightest color to blend them together. And that's the t-shirt. Now we are going to do her booties, and they're also going to be purple. And that was the last part. This we are not gonna paint with any kind of dark because we're just gonna cut those colored pieces out. So I'll be right back with the cut out pieces. Now I've cut out all of those small pieces we colored. I've also gone on the borders of them, the ends of them, and colored with my Memento, the brush side. This is also to kind of remove the white paper and make it even more look like a 3D part. We're also taking a bone folder, or in my case this came with my Ultimate Pro, it works perfectly as a bone folder, and just kind of tweak them a bit so you make them a little bit rounder. And you do that with all of the parts. Don't have to make them that much rounder, but you want to give them some dimension. You don't have to, just bend them a little bit over your tool and it will turn out okay. I'm going to do that. Now we're gonna put this all together. We're gonna start with the the first layer, so we're gonna go for the second layer. I'm using some gel glue for this because I did a try earlier with foam pads. My foam pads have a little bit much too height, so it doesn't really look good. So I'm starting off with some gel glue. Just put some on. How much, it all depends on how high you want it to be. I put it on in the middle, and then I can just push on it until I think it's flat enough, like that. And the reason, that's also one of the reasons why I use gel glue. You have movement on your piece, so you don't have to be 100% certain on how you want it to be placed, because you can wiggle it back and forth. Like that. And then we have those small booties. And then we're gonna go for the third layer, which was her bangs. Place up here. Like that. Then we have her shirt. And her teeny tiny shoes here. Now using yellow glue means that we have to put this aside to dry. But that is my 3D decoupaged Anya. If we do it like this, you see, she has some dimension, and I try to give her even more with the coloring. Hope you liked this video. I'll see you later. Bye!